All right, Shalom. This is PHAROAH 1 by Yacha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, however, Kar Kodash, Shema Ma. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right, man, it's going to be a quick edification dealing with, what's this called? Ezekiel. Let's go here. All right, Ezekiel. I'm going to show you. 29, and then I'm going to go through, I'm going to show you when the prophecy was first given in Isaiah 27. All right, so this is a prophecy that came to pass from the time of Isaiah, all right, all the way up until the time of Ezekiel, where the Lord was punishing and putting hell on those Egyptians, those Babylonians, and also those Assyrians, all right, which were all enemies to Israel at one point in time, okay? And now the Lord, basically, once you understand Isaiah 27, it speaks about the Most High delivering Israel, basically from our enemies. And at that current time, our enemies were Babylon, Assyria, and Egypt. So today, America is operating under those spirits of Egypt, Babylon, and Assyria. All right, so this scripture can be tied to Esau and America today, but prophetically and contextually, it goes back to ancient Egypt, Babylon, and Assyria. All right, so I want to show that in scripture how the Most High delivered us from these kingdoms that they thought would last forever. They thought they were gods. They were worshiping idols, and they were putting hell on us. And their vast kingdoms and innovations, they thought they would last forever. But the Lord still brought them down, just like he's going to bring this current kingdom down. All right, because he said what? His chain is in his hand. All right. So the Most High binds up, the Most High wounds, and he heals. Okay, so now let's get a couple precepts. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna go straight in. Let's dive right in. I'm gonna try to pull this up on my screen. All right, let's get this precept real quick. This is Daniel 4:17. It says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of nations." See that? So that's when you go into the book of Daniel, where it shows the statue of Nebuchadnezzar, and it speaks about how the Lord was going to take them at the feet. He's going to destroy all their kingdoms, destroy wickedness in one blow in these last days. All right, he's going to cut out the root of wickedness, the basis of all nations. Thus, by doing so, he's going to take control over the whole earth. Talking about Yahweh Shai. All right, so in those ancient times, now let's get into it. Where can I go? I'm going to go here. Go to the blue letter. All right, let's dive in. This is from the time of Isaiah, I think 740 BC to about 681. All right, around the time of the death of Sennacherib. Okay, so now I think you had Esarhaddon ruled after Sennacherib of the Assyrians, because Isaiah, he was around to see the fall of the northern tribes. All right, 722 BC. Israel, the northern tribes fell to what was his name, man? Salmanassar the fifth, and then Sargon the second, he ended it and took out Hosea, the king of the northern tribe with Ephraim. So Isaiah was around. He prophesied against the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, and he was there to see the Most High's prophecies come to pass. All right, Isaiah from about 740 to about 681. All right. So so now, because we fell in 722, so 740, boom, he saw that. Then 701, Sennacherib came up against us. That's where you get to Hezekiah's tunnel, all right, with Hezekiah in 701 BC. So Isaiah saw all of that. But he said a prophecy here during the time of what Pharaoh was in power. I think it was Samtik, the second or the first. All right, let me see if I can pull that up. All right. Let me get this real quick. Yeah, Samtik the first. The Samtik, I don't know how to say his name. But you get this guy here. He was ruling this devil, right? Hamite devil. It says, with Hibri Samtik was the first pharaoh of the 26th dynasty of Egypt. This Seti period, I don't know what that means, but ruled from the city of Sais in the Nile Delta between 664, this is important, all the way till 610, all right? And we know 612 BC is the fall of Nineveh. That's all very important in this time period. All right, I'm gonna do a lesson later on 664. He was installed by Ashurbanipal. The Ashurbanipal, the word Asher goes back to Assyria. All right, so Ashurbanipal, he's very important in scripture, man. You read Nahum. All right, so I'm gonna go into that. I ain't gonna speak on it too much, but he was around during the fall of Nineveh. All right, so it's saying here that this guy Ashurbanipal, he established a puppet ruler in Egypt named Samtik the First. All right, so he was installed by Ashurbanipal of the Neo-Assyrian Empire. See that, Assyria, against the Kushite rulers of the 25th dynasty, but later gained more autonomy. See, he gained more autonomy operating on their own as the Assyrian Empire declined. See that? So he set up this ruler and helped to establish that dynasty of Egypt at that time. All right, so Ashurbanipal helped them to establish their ruler, Samtik the First. But the thing is, after Ashurbanipal and Assyria began to fall, Egypt began to rise again, and we know the Lord put hell on Egypt when He brought us out of Egypt, 1446 BC. All right, with the Pharaoh, I think Moses. All right, so now let's go back. All right, yeah, I mean not I said Moses, but Tutmos. All right, Tutmos the third. He was the Pharaoh of Egypt, 1446 BC. All right, so now let's keep going. So let's get back to this. Let's go back to this page. All right. So the Lord already put hell on these Egyptians, and it was spoken of about our power delivering us out of Egypt. So these Egyptians, those Hamites, they wanted to rebuild Egypt. Now we know the word Pharaoh. The term Pharaoh is important. Before I move on with the lesson, look at the word Pharaoh. So I got to type it. There you go. Let's get Pharaoh, right? what does it mean? Let's get it right here. Hold on. All right, so it says Pharaoh. It means what? The title of the kings of ancient Egypt, often treated as a personal name. Old English pharaoh basically means a great house. All right, and the pharaohs. Hold up, let's get to that. Pharaohs believed they were gods. Look at that. The pharaohs were believed to be living embodiments of the idols on the earth. So now you see why the Lord wanted to destroy them heathens. All right, ensuring religious harmony and carrying out sacred ceremonies. So yeah, they were promising that everything was going to be peace in their kingdom, that nothing was going to stop them, and the Most High showed out. And showed that Yahweh is the true and only living power, man, and that rules in the heavens and in the earth. All right. So now let's get back to Isaiah. Get my book. All right. So this is Isaiah. All right, Isaiah 27. And I may go through the whole chapter, but we'll see. I went over this already with the camp, I think 2 weeks ago. And it took us like 3 hours to go through it. You know, we went through it. So they pretty camp here is familiar with this chapter. But it says what? It speaks about the deliverance of Yasha Allah. Right. So the Lord always delivered us. And that's what he's showing by these prophecies. That the Lord will always be the one to deliver us, our constant deliverer. All right, let's get that. Get this real quick. Go to Jeremiah 2 and 20. Jeremiah 2 and 20. It says, for of old times, so if you look all the way back in history, right? I have broken thy yoke. So the Lord always broken us out of bondage, out of oppression, out of sin, wickedness. So the Lord is going to do that again in these last days, our constant deliverer. He said, for of old time, I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands. And thou saidest, I will not transgress. When upon every high hill, so every nation that's been lifted up, and under every green tree, even Egypt and Babylon and Assyria, right? Also with the Syrians, the Arameans, the Persians, and now under Esau, are people what? Under every hill, high hill, exalted nation, and under every green tree, thou wanderest playing the harlot, man. See that? So any place that's flourishing, our people become what? Idol worshipers and sellouts. Okay, but of old time, the Lord has always delivered us. Right? But that's why the Lord said, cursed is the man that trusteth in man. So of old time, the Most High has always broken our yokes, right? Our bondages. So let's go back to Isaiah, because that's what this chapter is showing, and Ezekiel 29. The deliverance of Israel, Isaiah 27 and 1. In that day, Yahweh with his sword and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Now, just to sum this up, of course, we can skip till now to where all of these things fit Esau today, because Esau spiritually represents the dragon, the serpent, the piercing serpent, Leviathan now, just like Egypt represented Leviathan, or Babylon. All right. Of course, Leviathan, the dragon, the reason the scriptures reference Egypt and Babylon, comparing them in Assyria to the dragon, is because just like the real Leviathan spoken of in Job, if that thing came out of the water, it would scare everybody on the earth. So that's what these nations have done. They have acted as monsters that came out of the sea onto the earth, monster countries, bringing fear into the people. So, but this is not talking about the actual Godzilla right here. This is talking about ancient Babylon, right? The piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent that goes into Assyria. All right, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. That's talking about Egypt. All right, this whole chapter is going in, focusing on the allegiance of Assyria and Egypt when they were going against Babylon in preparation for the Battle of Carchemish. All right. So even though these nations were coming against us, we were caught in the middle of their fights and their battles, just like we are today. Between Russia, America, China, and we just in the middle of the shit. Whoever rule, they're gonna take over type shit, you know what I mean? So check this out. So the Lord gonna punish them. So we ain't gonna get into that probably in this lesson. I may go into it because it's gonna take too long. But this could also pertain to Esau, because the Lord gonna use a sword to destroy Esau's rulership as well. All right. Let me see something real quick. Here you go. It says Leviathan, a wreathed animal, a serpent. We know that, especially the crocodile or some other large sea monster. See, just like Esau and their rulership today, they came up out of the sea. That's a Revelation, I think 17. All right. Having 7 heads and 10 horns. So spiritually, it's in reflection of that real large sea monster. All right. A monstrous nation. Figuratively, see, now when you're speaking figuratively, it says what? The constellations of the dragon? Nope. Also a symbol of Babylon. All right, that's the point. So now let's go back. So this is figuratively, it's speaking of in Isaiah 27. All right. So now let's all right, so let's go into it. How can I get straight to the point? So the Lord going to destroy the dragon of the sea. Now, in that day, sing unto her a vineyard of red wine. Right. I'm not going to get all the breakdowns, precepts, because I got precepts lined up for this stuff, but I just want to get through this lesson because my lessons be taking too long sometimes. And that day, sing unto her a vineyard of red wine. Right. So what does it represent? Flourishment. Israel, instead of being impoverished and in drought, as far as salvation and deliverance, and answers, red wine, the philosophy, the doctrine, the understanding, but fruitfulness, that's what this represents. All right, a vineyard of red wine, that's a fruitful vineyard. But instead, as I was reading a minute ago, let's get that, man. Let's just get it. I'm gonna try that. I ain't want to get it, but let's get it. Let's go to Jeremiah 2:20. I think I saw it here a minute ago. There you go. Look at that. It says what? I feel like I'm gonna get this real quick. I'm gonna type this in. Here you go. All right, so I'm gonna get this first. Go ahead. Where was that? 20. There you go. Jeremiah 2 and 20, 2 and 21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, a noble vineyard, holy, a right seed, righteous nation. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? So what? We were polluted, all right? And we transgressed under every ruling nation playing the damn harlot, all right? So we became a strange vine, degenerate, no growth, unfruitful. All right. So Isaiah 5 and 1, now will I sing to my beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. See, we represent the vineyard. Israel is the vineyard of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. And Yahweh Shai is the tiller of the soil. My beloved in the most high waters it. My beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, from Israel. And he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof. So he the one that settled us in that land, all right, and delivered us, and planted it with the choicest vine, all right, and built a tower. So he planted us in the most purest of places, all right. It says here, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a wine press there. So he, gave us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and a place of judgment in Israel. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. Wild grapes represents poisonous, toxic grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray thee, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes that can't be eaten, man. Wild grapes are poisonous grapes. They have to be trodden down and just thrown away. All right. It says, and now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall, and it shall be trodden down. And I will lay it waste, and that happened to us. We got destroyed and ran out of that land. 722, and then with Judah, it happened in 586 BC. But Isaiah was prophesying around 740 to 681. So this was like, 90 something years later, maybe, when it happened. And I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. And I will also command the cloud that they rain no rain upon it. So we had no answers, no edification, no power. We were left desolate because we were being wicked. For the vineyard of Yahweh of hosts is the house of Israel. There you go, straight to the point. And the men of Judah, his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold, oppression. For righteousness, but behold, a cry. All right. So now let's go back to Isaiah 27 to make sense of it. All right. So Isaiah 27 and 1. In that day, Yahweh with his sword and great strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, the crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. So the Lord going to destroy all those oppressing nations at that time, which represented Assyria, Babylon, and Egypt. In that day, sing ye unto her a vineyard of red wine. See, when the Lord is ready to deliver us, he's going to send his prophets to sing the song of deliverance. All right, even in these times, we're sent to sing unto her a vineyard of fruitful wine or salvation and understanding that's given to us. preaching to the kingdom of Israel, preaching to Israel the words of prophecy and about the kingdom and salvation, fruitfulness. Different than saying we're going to be destroyed. It's a new song, right? I, Yahweh, doeth keep it. See, once the Lord keeps us, once the Lord is with us, who can be against us? I will water it every moment, man, lest any hurt it, and I will keep it night and day. And that's going to happen in the kingdom, where it says Israel is going to walk in the light of it. The nations shall walk in the light of it. We're going to be watered every day so that we don't sin. But once we sin, that's when the nations get the upper hand. But we're going to be watered as we're starting to be watered now, right? Fury is not in me. Who would set the briars and thorns against me in battle? Like Most High is like, yo, who's gonna come up against him? All right, if he's not angry against Israel, who's gonna come up against Israel? I would go through them. I would burn them together. And now the Lord has forgiven us, is offering forgiveness to us now through Yahweh Shai. Anybody come up against us, they coming up against the Lord. And he's going to go through them and he's going to burn them together. Or let him that take hold of my strength, that he may make peace with me. And he shall make peace with me. All right? All right? They're going to try to be cool with him, but you know. And he shall cause them that come of Jacob to take root. Israel shall blossom and bud and fill the face of the world with fruit, man. See that? That's what he promised us. He said, sing unto Israel a vineyard of red wine, meaning fruitfulness. We're going to be growing as a nation and we're going to live out the prophecies. Let me get this real quick. We're going to live out the prophecies of, look at Isaiah 54. There's a lot of prophecy in Isaiah. He was a major prophet. Even Yahweh Shai read from the books of Isaiah when he taught. So it said, what? We're going to be fruitful and we're going to fill the earth. Shit, look at us now, man. People would be like, what? Or look at us in slavery. They think it's impossible. It says, this is Isaiah 54:1. Sing, O barren, it's talking about Sarah. She was the barren woman that she had Isaac, her only son. And through Isaac, we're going to be, that promise that was given to Abraham of becoming as the sand of the sea is going to come through Isaac, right, and Jacob. The promise was given to Abraham. It went through Isaac and given by Isaac, and it fell on Jacob. All right, the promise. Sing, O barren, talking about Sarah. Thou that didst not bear, right? Sarah and Hagar. Hagar had Ishmael, became a great nation. But Sarah was barren until she had Isaac. The Most High blessed her with Isaac. Break forth into singing and cry aloud. This is happening now and into the kingdom. The cry that went out at midnight. Thou that didst not travail with child, for more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife, right? Ishmael became 12 sons, and they had look at the Arabic nations today, Arab nations. All right. Where was I at? Now, this is in the kingdom. Enlarge the place of thy tent. See, once we're in the kingdom, that place is going to enlarge, meaning we're going to fill the whole earth with children and rulership and righteousness. And let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations, man. All right, even going from the earth into space. And spare not, lengthen thy cords, right? Because you with measuring or setting up tents, you would try to keep it to a minimum so you don't invade each other's space. Well, the Lord said, no, spare not. Take over everywhere out here. Take over the whole earth. I got more for you out in space. Mansions, meaning houses, planets. And strengthen thy stakes, meaning when you setting your tent up, bang them, put your foot down in those areas. and stand 10 toes down and take over. All right, that's how you'll put a tent peg down. Like, I'm standing here, bang them joints in, not like you're gonna leave quick. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. All right, so all that destruction that came upon us is going to be fixed. All right, so that's it, man. I'm going to get back to Isaiah 27. Isaiah 27 and all right, Isaiah 27 and 6. And he shall cause them that come of Jacob to take root. Israel shall blossom and bud, right? And fill the face of the world with fruit. And this is going to happen. All right, it already happened, but we are, most of our nation is wicked right now. He have smitten him, but so this is going to happen in the kingdom. He have smitten him as he smote those, so like it. Have he smitten him? So had the Lord smitten Israel as he smote those that smote him? So did he laid what? Esau's heritage waste. So the Lord chastened us, but the Lord said, what are you going to do to Esau? Pour out the cup without measure. Give him double what was given to us. All right. Egypt shall never rise again, even though it wanted to, and it was trying to, under this prophecy with Samtik the first, and then the next Pharaoh, which I'm gonna read about in a second. All right, and as he smote those, as he smote those that smote him, right? Or is he slain according to the slaughter of them that are slain by him? So are we slain forever? No. The Lord had mercy on us, and he left a remnant. Even in what's that? Obadiah, right? Where it says the Lord gonna leave a remnant for us. But Esau, his heritage is gonna be laid waste forever and shall never rise again. And all these nations shall never rise again. Because why? This is why. Let me get that real quick. Let's get Micah. Let me remember where I'm at though. I'm on Isaiah 27:7. All right. Let's get Micah 1 and 3. I think it is. Yeah, 1 and 3. 1 and 2. Hear, all ye people, hearken, O earth, and all that therein is, and let Yahweh power be witness against you, the Lord from his holy temple. For behold, Yahweh cometh forth out of his place, and will come down, just like he sent Yahweh down before, and tread upon the high places of the earth. So he's going to tread upon all these kingdoms. And the mountains shall be molten under him, and valleys shall be cleft. All right? So all these kingdoms are going to be destroyed. As wax before the fire, and as the water that poured down a steep place, man. All right, so let's keep going. Let's go this one real quick. Okay, Revelation 19 and 12. This is Revelation 19 and 12, 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. That's Yahweh's chariot, just like it came down in over Egypt. 1446 BC, the Lord is Yahweh's going to send Yahweh a second time, even more glorified, with a dazzling giant chariot to deliver us. All right, with the holy angels with him. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. And in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. So Yahweh is going to judge and make war with all these nations in righteousness. His eyes are as a flame of fire, meaning judgment. Your eyes are the windows to your soul. So the wrath of Yahweh can be seen And the anger is on the mind of Yahweh Shai. And that's all he focused on, is judgment. And on his head were many crowns, man. So all these kingdoms, they're going to fall when Yahweh Shai shows up. Just by him destroying America, the staff of the wicked, and bringing down Esau, he's going to take down all these nations. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. So only the elect are going to be in this sheepfold. All right. So now they're going to have on his head what? Many crowns. He's going to put down all these nations, man. Let's get that. First Corinthians 15 and 22. Is it 22? No, 2 Corinthians. No, 15. 22. For as in Adam all die, even so in Yahweh Shai shall all be made alive. See? All right, so we were falling after that spirit of Adam and sin. But now through Yahweh Shai, we're moving towards life and fruitfulness. So sing unto Israel a vineyard of fruitful of wine, red wine, man. All right. Even so now, 23, but every man in his own order, Yahweh Shai the first fruits, afterward they that are in Yahweh Shai, that are Yahweh Shai's at his coming. Then cometh the end. Daniel chapter 2, the Lord shall take them at the feet, the 10 toes, when they're in rulership. All right. When he shall have delivered up the kingdom. See, the end is when Yahweh shall send Yahweh Shai. He's going to deliver up this earth and Israel to Yahweh. Even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. See that? Many crowns. He's going to put down all rulership and all authority and power. For he must reign until he have put all enemies under his feet. And this goes with those that sit upon thrones, sitting upon thrones, having crowns. They're going to be ruling for 1,000 years with the Lord. All right, that reigning. It says they shall reign with him for 1,000 years. What does that mean? We're going to be ushering in the kingdom, kicking ass for 1,000 years. And after 1,000 years, these nations are going to get a low-level form of living, and Esau is going to be put off the earth. So this is when he's going to have put down all enemies under his feet. See that? They're going to be in a low condition. And the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death, meaning all Israel is going to be renewed by that point. We're going to be made perfect in a righteous nation. Not going to be any more sin amongst our people. For he hath put all things under his feet, but when he saith all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is expected, which did put all things under him, right? Because that's what if you go to Revelations 12, where it say the dragon, when he knew that he was put down, that's when he began to persecute the woman. See, when Yahweh Shai showed up on the scene, that was the end. The beginning of the end. All right. And they knew by that happened. And that's why Herod wanted to kill Yahweh Shai at his birth, because they knew once we have a king, it's over. But they didn't know when. All right. And when all things shall be subdued unto him, so when the prophecy come to pass, then shall the Son of Man, the Son, so like the Son of Yahweh, also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that Yahweh may be all in all. All right. So this is about to happen. This is basically what Isaiah 27 is talking about. All our enemies are going to be put down, even death. So Esau is going to be put down definitely. They spiritually represent death as well. All right, so now where were we, man? 27 and 7. So hath he smitten him? Isaiah 27 and 7. Hath he smitten him? So hath Yahweh smitten Israel as he smote those that smote him, as the Lord uh, smote is going to smite these nations? No, because the Lord punished us with measure. He's going to punish them without measure. All right. And he said, what? Let me get it. Let me get it. This is Malachi 1 and 3. No, Malachi 1 and 2. I have loved you. See that? So the Lord loves us. So that chastening, people like, yeah. The nation's like, yeah, look at them. Revelation 11. They made mockery of us. Your God is not with you no more, you know? I have loved you, saith Yahweh. All right, by putting us in slavery, that's love. All right, he chastens who he loves. So the outcome can be greater. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith Yahweh? Yet I love Jacob. See that? So as he punished us, the way he's going to punish them that punished us, God forbid. All right. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains, see his kingdom, and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. All right. So this place is going to be a desert. Everything they inherited, everything they built up is going to be thrown down. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished. So that's the point, man. All right. No, let's keep going. Where we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. So Esau today, that's ruling the world, the same way Egypt was ruling at that time, the same way Assyria was ruling in their age, and then Babylon, which are Assyrians, in their time period. Esau is ruling in this time period. This is what, but we will return and build the desolate places. That's what PHAROAH wanted to do. PHAROAH the Great, he actually went back. His grandfather was named Antipater the Idumean. And PHAROAH wanted to go and rebuild Idumea. And that's when he took office and started trying to move up in the ranks under the Roman Empire with Caesar, Julius Caesar. All right. And yeah, man. So he wanted to be over Israel. And he also wanted to rebuild Idumea. He actually went there and saw it. You can look it up in history. And he wanted to rebuild it. Just like the Egyptian Pharaoh wanted to rebuild Egypt. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness. See, the kingdom gonna say, oh, those are the wicked. That's the wicked right there. And the people against whom Yahweh have indignation forever. See, the Lord is not gonna keep indignation against us forever. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, Yahweh will be magnified from the borders of Israel. See, Israel, that kingdom, Yasha Allah is going to be ruling on this earth again. And he's going to be magnified from those borders. All right, let's go back. Matter of fact, what was I reading a minute ago? He's going to be magnified from the borders. And Isaiah 54 real quick, one more time. Just get that part. All right. Yeah. Where is it at? I can't find it right now. If I can't find it, I ain't worrying about it. All right. It says what the desolate place in here. Fear not more. Nope. There you go. Isaiah 54 and 5. For thy maker is thine husband. See? He's the one that tills our soil and helps us to grow. One man water, if another man plants, or vice versa. And Yahweh gives the increase. All right. So Yahweh of hosts is his name. So through Yahweh Shai, the Lord is going to deal with us. All right. And said he shall no longer be called Baali or Ba. In the Hebrew, Baal Yum, which is like idols, after all these idols. But he shall be called Ishi, meaning husband. Meaning we know who our husband is. Right. And we are the bride. And thy Redeemer, the Holy One. Oh, sorry. And thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So that's Yahweh Shai. The God of the whole earth shall he be called. Look at that. So he's going to be magnified from the borders of Israel. And eventually we're going to take over the whole earth. All right. So he'll be magnified throughout the whole earth through his children, Israelites. So let's go back. So all these oppression nations. All right. Now it's going to get to the point. That thought they had us. The Lord was like, yo, you touching the apple of my eye. Verse 27 and 8. In measure, when it shooteth forth, thou wilt debate with it. He stayeth his rough wind in the day of the east wind. By this, so the Lord controls the weather just like he controls humanity. By this, therefore, shall the iniquity of Jacob be purged. All right, so that goes into Daniel chapter 9, with us being in oppression and being purged through that persecution and the affliction. And this is all the fruit to take away his sin. All right, Daniel chapter 9. If you read that, always, I think it's 24. When he maketh all the stones of the altar as chalk stones that are beaten in sunder, the groves and images shall not stand up. Yet the defenced city shall be desolate, and the habitation forsaken and left like a wilderness. There shall the calf feed, and there shall he lie down and consume the branches thereof. All right. So there, when we fell, the nations consumed us. You know, any branches, any people that were broken off. When the boughs thereof are withered, they shall be broken off. See that? The women come, meaning the nations come, and set them on fire. Right. So if you're a branch broken off, even in these times, the nations of martial law or whatever, they're going to show up, or be. So I think it's in Apocrypha. It says many shall be taken in great number. So it's also talking about under the philosophies of this world, they can be broken off as well. And then what? Set on fire. For it is a people of no understanding. Therefore, he that made them will not have mercy on them, and he that formed them will show them no favor. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall beat off from the channel of the river unto the stream of Egypt. All right. So the channel or the canal of the river, all the way until the stream of Egypt, and ye shall be gathered one by one, O ye children of Israel. All right. So this was a prophecy that came to pass during the time of Samtik the first, and up to Pharaoh Necho the second. All right. And the Lord brought us into Babylon. And then after Babylon, the Lord brought us back into our land. Even during the times of the Battle of Carchemish, we were in our land. So the canal of the channel of the river is talking about the Nile River. And then you have the streams of Egypt going into, let me get this real quick. There you go. I'm going to show you. In the streams, right here, boom. All right, so this is, you know, the streams that lead from the Nile. So this was what was making those pharaohs rich and ruling in military conquest, because they were building those canals that would lead from those rivers, like the River Nile, the Tigris River, the Kassar River, you know, the Reds, and they all led to the Red Sea. So But that really started with Pharaoh Necho the second. All right. So it says what? The brooks, the rivers, the streams, the valleys. All right. The narrow brooks that lead. I'm gonna show you. How about that? Let me pull something up real quick. It's a good example, kind of. I'll show you this one. All right, so you have all these rivers that would lead out. See that? But nothing led to the Red Sea. It's right there, and that's where Pharaoh Necho came in to play. So Isaiah 27 is a prophecy about Egypt trying to take back their power after Assyria started falling, and they tried to rise up, and that caused the Israelites, especially with Judah, that caused them to want to go back into Egypt when the Lord told us to go into Babylon under Jeremiah and accept our punishment. Instead, they wanted to go down to Egypt for help. So that should make more sense, right? So today, a lot of Jakes are still in that spirit, wanting to go back into the wilderness. Go back into Egypt. All right, they thought it in their heart to go back into Egypt. Okay, so all of this was being developed at that time with Isaiah and Ezekiel, but the Lord stopped it, and I'm gonna show you. All right, let's go back. So beat off meaning he's going to cut them off. All right, he's going to stop all their development. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall beat off or stop or cut off from the channel of the river unto the streams of Egypt. All right. So let me see something real quick. And it shall come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown, and they shall come which were ready to perish in the land of Assyria. So a lot of Jakes that were in Assyria once it fell in Nineveh, right? And also with when they took us captive, man, them Assyrians. All right, we were ready to perish in that land. Lachish, when they took Lachish in 701 BC, and the outcast in the land of Egypt, and shall worship Yahweh in the holy mountain at Jerusalem. See, all right, so they started going back into the land until Nebuchadnezzar came up against us, started taking us captive in those 3 exiles from 605 during the Battle of Carchemish. That was the first exile. The second exile, 597 BC. Then the third exile, 586 BC. Zedekiah of Judah. So, right. So we started going back into those lands. Now, around this time with Isaiah, you had Samtik the first, and then over Egypt, and then over Babylon, you had Nebuchadnezzar, which was the father of Nebuchadnezzar. All right, he died 605 BC, right before the Battle of Carchemish. So now let's get into the prophecy of when this actually happened. All right, so now let's get Ezekiel 29. Let's start from 1, because Isaiah 27 was basically a prophecy of how the Lord was going to judge all those nations. It said Babylon, Assyria, and Egypt. All right, those 3 serpents, and the dragon, those ruling nations, dominant nations. Now, Egypt, Ezekiel 29 is when that prophecy came to pass. All right, the Lord brought down Egypt. He brought down Egypt, man, right here. They were building their construction with Pharaoh Necho II. And this matches up so perfectly. I'm going to show you. Ezekiel 29 and 1. In the 10th year, in the 10th month, In the 12th day of the month, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, so, son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, man. So the Lord's still mad at Egypt around that time, and prophesy against him and against all Egypt. See, it's not just about that ruler, but about the whole nation that's in that land. Just like America, it's not about just Esau, but it's about the Idumeans and the Americans. You know, anybody that's in that mindset here. All right. So in the 10th year, so let's get that real quick. Let me pull up the calculator. Okay, I don't know. Hopefully I can see it. So in the 10th year would be from 605, right? And take away 10. That'll get you to 595 BC. All right. Now, this is a major year. Now, hopefully, you know, to give you some clarity, you should be thinking about 597, which was the second exile, 592, when Ezekiel was prophesying, right? 592 BC. So he's breaking it down of how in 595 this happened. Okay. So 595 BC. What happened in 595 BC? Let's see. Maybe I should read this to y'all first. Yeah. I'm gonna wait. Let's read the scripture first. All right. No. Yeah, let's read the scripture first. All right, it's cool. This is Ezekiel 29 and 1. So 595 BC in the 10th year in the 10th month. So the 10th month would be like around what they call October today. So around fall. In the 20th, in the 12th day of the month. So, all right, so the beginning of that month, around that time period, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, so the Spirit was dealing with Ezekiel. Son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, against who? Pharaoh Necho the second. All right, he's the Pharaoh that killed King Josiah. And he's after Josiah, Jehoahaz was set up by the people, the Israelites. They voted him into power, which was the son of King Josiah, the righteous king that held the last Passover in 622 BC. So after Pharaoh Necho, you can read about that in the book of First Ezra and the Apocrypha, how Pharaoh Necho was telling Josiah, yo, leave me alone. I'm going up against Babylon, and your God is with me. And he was like, nah. And Josiah kept coming at him. And then Pharaoh killed him in the battle, unalived him. So the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all right. And after Jehoahaz, he ruled for about 3 months. And then Pharaoh Necho the second showed up, and he put in a puppet ruler named Jehoiakim. All right. And that should ring some bells when you hear Jehoiakim during the time of Jeremiah. He was wicked. All right. So there was a wrestling going on. And Pharaoh Necho set up Jehoiakim, and he took Jehoahaz to Egypt, kept in captive. All right. So now, let's keep going. Son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So Pharaoh Necho was feeling himself, man, and prophesy against his ass and against all Egypt. Speak and say, thus saith Yahweh the power, behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh Necho, or Pharaoh king of Egypt. And I think he ruled from 610 to 595. All right, BC. Okay, that's right. So now, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon that lieth in the midst of his rivers. Ooh, I forgot that was there. Come on, man. Come on, man. That should ring some bells. Ring some bells. That should ring some bells right there. Come on, man. Let that resonate for a second. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon. That should ring some bells. Isaiah 27. Get this real quick. See, look at that. Egypt. This is we know it means Matazarium, which is one of the sons of Noah, or grandsons of Noah. It said Egypt, land of the Copts, a country at the northeastern section of Africa, adjacent to Palestine, and through which the Nile River flows. Double straits, man. All right, so this is important to understand because of this. It says what? Isaiah 27:1. In that day, Yahweh with his sword and great sword, strong sword, shall punish Leviathan, Babylon, the piercing serpent, the attacking nation, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent. All right, so playing both sides, Assyria. And he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Talking about Egypt, man. That way said all Egypt. So he was prophesying against Egypt right here and the pharaohs. And that prophecy, this prophecy specifically came to pass during this time. All right. Ezekiel 29:3. Speak and say, thus saith Yahweh the power, behold, I am against thee. Meaning not in the future, but right now. Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Pharaoh Necho II. The great dragon that lieth in the midst of his waters. All right, the Nile River, the Red Sea, which had said, my river is mine own, and I have made it for myself. Who said that? Let's get that real quick. All right, who said that before? This guy here. Pharaoh Necho II. He built what was called, what they call it, the Suez Canal. It was called the Necho Canal. He's talking about it was mine. No, but through that canal, they were getting resources and rulership. All right. So this prophecy is what? Look, 610. That's it, 610, right? I think. Yeah, to 595 BC. Matches up perfect with the scriptures. All right. Now, Pharaoh Necho, or Naku, whatever, Hebrew Necho of Egypt, was a king of the 26th dynasty. Now he was spoken of in the scriptures. Let's get there real fast. This one. Jeremiah 46:1. Let's get Jeremiah 46:1. This is Jeremiah 46:1. It says, Yahweh, the word of Yahweh which came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Gentiles, right? Against Egypt, against the army of Pharaoh Necho. So even Jeremiah was prophesying against Pharaoh Necho. All right. I forgot how long Jeremiah was around. I gotta look through my notes, but I know he started prophesying in 627 BC. All right. So against Egypt, against the army of Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, and Jeremiah was around and taken into Babylon. So he was around to see Pharaoh Necho. All right. Against Egypt, against the army of Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, which was by the what? The river Euphrates. See, they were proud because of the river Euphrates, the Red Sea, the Nile River. All right. So prophesy against Egypt, against the army of Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt. So he's in the Bible, which was by the river Euphrates. See, his waters. the dragon in the sea. In Carchemish, that was called the Battle of Carchemish. This is a great story to learn about. The Battle of Carchemish, a regional war that happened between Babylon and the alliance of Assyria and Egypt. And Babylon won that war, all right, 605 BC, which brought them into power, which Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, smote in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. I just said that, right? So in the 4th year, let's go to this real quick, calculator again. So in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, that's when Pharaoh Necho lost the battle to, he didn't die, but he lost the battle in power over certain regions. He lost it to Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar. So it said in the 4th year, though, this happened. So Jehoiakim started ruling in 609. So you take away 4, you get 605. What happened in 605? The Battle of Carchemish between Egypt, Pharaoh Necho, and Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. All right, so it's perfect. The Bible is accurate. All right, so let's go back. Where was that? All right, so yeah, this one. So this happened in 605 BC. All right, the battle with Babylon and Egypt. All right, so the Most High is controlling all of that. So let's go to another precept where it spoke about Pharaoh Necho. Let's get 2 Kings 23, 29. 2 Kings 23 and 29. Yeah, this is talking about Jehoahaz when he was taken, and then Jehoiakim was made king by the Pharaoh Necho. Everything I just said to y'all, you can just read 2 Kings 23, all right? And I'll go to 29. Actually, I'll read it. It says what? 28. Now the rest of the acts of Josiah, he was righteous, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles, the recordings of the kings of Judah? In his days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria. All right, and at that time, the king of Assyria is Nebuchadnezzar, because he conquered Assyria. All right, I think 612 BC. All right, or 610. In his days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates. All right, because that was like Pharaoh Necho's protection. And King Josiah went against him, and he slew King Josiah at Megiddo, the Battle of Megiddo, when he had seen him. And his servants carried him in a chariot dead from Megiddo, talking about Josiah, and brought him to Jerusalem and buried him in his own sepulcher. You can read about this in 1 Ezra as well, in the last Passover at that time, 622 BC. King Josiah ruled from 640 to 609, right? And then Jehoiakim was put in office. And the people of the land, see, the Israelites, they took who? Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and anointed him and made him king in his father's stead. Okay, so Jehoahaz, I think he only ruled like 3 months or something, 3 years. Here you go. 31. Jehoahaz was 20 and 3 years old. See, we were young rulers at that time. Our people would rule at young ages, but now they are killing each other, unaliving each other in the streets at that young age. I lost where I was at. Here you go. So Jehoahaz was 20 and 3 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh. So Jehoahaz was evil. That's why Yahweh removed him, according to all that his fathers had done. And Pharaoh Necho II put him in bands at Riblah. All right, so Pharaoh Necho took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and held him captive in the land of Hamath, that he might not reign in Jerusalem, and put the land to a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. And that was what Zedekiah was doing. Zedekiah was like, nah, I ain't paying y'all, Babylon, or Jehoiakim. He stopped paying Babylon. He didn't want to pay Babylon any taxes. They wanted to take the money to Egypt. All right. Because they wanted Egypt to win. As you can see, Jehoiakim was a puppet of Egypt, but he was a Jake of Judah. And Pharaoh Necho II made Eliakim, the son of Josiah. His name is Jehoiakim. Watch this, look, man. And Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Josiah, king instead in the room of Josiah his father, and turned his name to Jehoiakim. Look at that, man. And took Jehoahaz away, and he came to Egypt and died there. All right, Jehoahaz died in Egypt. All right, so now, and Jehoiakim gave the silver and gold to Pharaoh, but he taxed the land to give the money according to the commandment of Pharaoh. He exacted the silver and the gold of the people of the land, and of every one according to his taxation, to give it to Pharaoh Necho II. So Pharaoh Necho was oppressing us, man. And the Most High wasn't feeling that. You know, he used Pharaoh, but at a certain period of time, once those rulers get prideful, the Lord bring them down and show, like, it ain't y'all that's doing it, it's me. I'm controlling y'all. My people went against me. I'm raising up a nation against them. But don't get prideful, because I'm going to take you down too. All right, so let's go back to this. All right, so I want Ezekiel. Here you go. Ezekiel 29:3. Speak and say, thus saith Yahweh the power, behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon, just like spoken of in Psalms, or also Isaiah 27. All right. Which said, the dragon that lieth in the midst of his rivers, right, the Nile River, the Euphrates River, which have said, my river, the Euphrates and the Nile, my river is mine own, and I have made it for myself. Now, how did he do that? Get that. All right, Pharaoh Necho II. It says, Necho, king of Egypt, was a king of the 26th dynasty from 610 to 595, as I read in Ezekiel 29, right, which ruled from Sais. Necho undertook a number of constructions projects across his kingdom. He started saying the rivers are his. He built them and all that. In his reign, according to the Greek historian Herodotus, Necho II sent out an expedition of Phoenicians, which in 3 years they sailed from the Red Sea around Africa to the Strait of Gibraltar and back to Egypt. They were using that Red Sea to travel as well. His son, Psammeticus II, upon succession, may have removed Necho's name from the monuments. Yeah, these mine now, man. Most High made sure that. Yeah. Necho played a significant role in the histories of Neo-Assyrian Empire. See, these are the dragons spoken of in Isaiah 27. Necho played a significant role in the histories of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, all right, the dragon, piercing serpent, dragon, the crooked serpent, and the dragon in the sea. All right, Egypt. And they went against the kingdom of Judah. See that? All of this is spoken of in Isaiah 27 and Ezekiel 29. Necho is most likely the Pharaoh Necho who was mentioned in 2 Kings. There's some. I'm gonna get to the point. All right, here you go. The aim of the second of Necho's campaigns was Asiatic conquest. So they wanted to go into Asia next and conquer that, and then rebuild that old empire of Egypt to rule the world. That's what they wanted. But that wasn't part of the Most High's plan. So it wasn't going to happen. The aim of the second of Necho's campaigns was Asiatic conquest, to contain the westward advance of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, which Nebuchadnezzar, and cut off its trade routes across the Euphrates. See, they wanted to control the Euphrates, saying it's theirs. However, the Egyptians were defeated by the unexpected attack of the Babylonians and were eventually expelled from Syria, from Asia, basically. So the Most High set up these Babylonians to take down Egypt. All right. So let's get to this real quick. Military campaigns. I want this one. No, we know about that. I just read that. Let's see this. Necho soon captured Kadesh on the Orontes and moved forward, joining forces with Ubalit. All right. And I think Ubalit was after Ashurbanipal. And together they crossed the Euphrates and laid siege to Haran in Syria. Although Necho became the first pharaoh to cross the Euphrates since who? Thutmose III. And when was Thutmose III around? Look at this, 1479 to 1425. So in between you have 1446, all right, which would be the date of the Exodus, 1446 BC. So this is the Pharaoh of the time of our Exodus. So ever since then, the Euphrates have not been crossed by the Egyptians. All right. So you see the tie between this Pharaoh and that Pharaoh. He messed around being him in reincarnation. You never know. That he failed to capture Haran. So he was failing, just like Esau was going to fail, and retreated back to northern Syria. At this point, Ashur-Ubalit vanished from history, and the Assyrian Empire was conquered by the Babylonians. Leaving a sizable force behind, Necho returned to Egypt. On his return march, he found that the Judeans had selected Jehoahaz, see that, to succeed his father, Josiah, whom Necho disposed, replacing with Jehoiakim. That should make sense to you. All right, so now here you go. Is this it? Damn, where is it? I want to go into the, here you go, ambiguous projects. This is it right here. At some point during his Syrian campaign, when he was trying to take over that Asiatic area, Necho II initiated, but never completed. He initiated it, but never completed the ambitious project of cutting a navigable canal from the Pelusiac branch of the Nile. Right, so where is that at? Okay, so all this. So he wanted to cut from here, and he wanted to go into the Red Sea. All right, let's read and see what he's talking about. Where? Branch of the Nile to the Red Sea. See that? So he wanted to build a bridge, a canal that led from basically these areas and over to the Red Sea. Let me see if I got a picture. I'll show this one real quick. All right, so kind of from this area, and they wanted it to branch off and go into the Red Sea. All right, so he cut a canal. It was called the NECHO Canal, just like the Suez Canal. All right, see the Red Sea? And it would lead out. Boom, look at that. So imagine having that. Just like today, the Persian Gulf or the Suez Canal is a major trade route and a military stronghold. That's how the Red Sea, the Euphrates River, the Nile River, the Kasar River, the Tigris River, right? All these rivers were used as military exploits and also imports and exports. So it's making Egypt more powerful. All right, so let's go back. Well, here goes an example. You see this? All right, let your eyes adjust. You see the Nile River, where it splits at, kind of, I think this is the south or the north. So anyway, it came from here, and then they cut a piece out and cut through here. Hierapolis, the Canal of the Pharaoh. They say pharaohs, but it was originally with Necho the second, and it leads into this area, and then the Gulf of Suez, and then all that leads into the Red Sea. This is a major project, Canal of the Pharaohs, right? So we go back. Necho's Canal, that's what it's called, was the earliest precursor of the Suez Canal. All right, then you had Necho's Canal. All right, damn, so they closed it in 767 AD. Anyway, that's something else. But yeah, it's called Necho's Canal. All right, basically an ancient form of the Suez Canal. Was the earliest precursor of the Suez Canal. It was in connection with a new activity that Necho founded a new city of Per-Temu. That's probably get Timu from today, probably Egyptian, which translate as the house of Atum of whatever. Wow. They were giving honor to their idols. It's crazy, right? At the site now known as whatever, all right, the waterway intended to facilitate trade between Mediterranean Sea and the Indian Ocean. So it's trade route. Necho also formed an Egyptian navy by recruiting displaced Ionian Greeks. This was an unprecedented act by the pharaoh, since most Egyptians had traditionally harbored an inherent distaste for and fear of the sea. Wow. The navy, which Necho created, operated along both the Mediterranean and Red Sea coast. So it was military and trade routes, just like the Suez Canal today. All right. Necho II constructed warships, including questionably triremes. I don't know what the hell that is. I guess those are boats. Was an ancient vessel. So yeah, vessels, some ancient vessels like the sail ships. We call them sailboats today, pirate ships. All right. So yeah, man. So this was what Pharaoh was up to, but he never finished it. At some point between 610 and before 594, so he died in 595, Necho reputedly commissioned an expedition of Phoenicians by the African and Persian and Aramaic nations, who it is said in 3 years sailed from the Red Sea around Africa back to the mouth of the Nile, and would thereby be the first completion of the Cape route. Look at that, man. So they were pushing for this. But the Lord said, nah, nah, nah. Look at this. Death and succession. Necho died. Pharaoh Necho II died in 595 BC. The same year they started their construction. All right, or years around that time. And was succeeded by his son, Psamtik II. All right, I think Psamtik I was his dad. Then you have Pharaoh Necho II. Then you have Psamtik II. As the next pharaoh of Egypt, Psamtik, however, apparently removed Necho's name from almost all of his father's monuments for unknown reasons. The Most High made him do it. All right, the Most High controls the paths of man. Who then can understand his way? However, some scholars, such as Robert, expressed doubt that this actually happened, arguing that the evidence, man, Esau, look at him. He didn't have room. Shut up. It was just imagine this was a myth. Nah, this happened, bro. All right, so yeah. So now let's go to something else real quick. So when the Lord said that in Ezekiel, right? Damn it, y'all wasn't even over there with me, but it's all good though. I'm saying reading, but y'all still saw the map, right? So now, yeah, so this is what it's talking about. Pharaoh Necho II, man. So when you read Ezekiel, you read Isaiah 27, it was a prophecy about him. But Ezekiel 29, that prophecy came to pass. Let's read it. Ezekiel 29:3. Speak and say, thus saith Yahweh the power, behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh, Necho, king of Egypt, the great dragon, right, ruling nation, dominant nations, right, that's putting fear in other nations, that lieth in the midst of his rivers. That he thought he was safe, just like America think they safe, being surrounded by water, and trade routes, and military, which had said, my river is mine own. See that? The Necho Canal. And I have made it for myself. But I will put hooks into thy jaws, and I will cause the fish of thy rivers to stick unto thy scales, meaning no more imports or exports. And I will bring thee up out of the midst of thy rivers. And after they came into Syria, the conquest tried to take over those areas. And all the fish of thy rivers shall stick unto thy scales, man. All right, so what's that? Drought. Just like America, the Lord's bringing this place down by stopping the imports and the exports. And I will, he said, it should be a cry at the fish gate. And I will leave thee thrown into the wilderness, thee and all thy fish of thy rivers. So all the nations that were helping, like the Phoenicians, that were helping Egypt. Thou shalt fall upon the open fields, all right, out there in Syria. Thou shalt not be brought together, nor gathered. I have given thee for meat to the beasts of the field and to the fowls of the heavens, so the other nations. And the specific nations it's talking about is Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians. All right. And all the inhabitants of Egypt shall know that I am Yahweh, because they have been a staff of reed to the house of Israel. See that? So they were like help. They say those that go down to Egypt for help. So they were like help. That's what staff means, to strengthen you, hold you up, keep you up. So they were helping to sustain Israel, right? With them taxes and all that. They're like, all right, we ain't gonna, So now, because of that, just like America, the Lord said we were going to be here in a place and be nourished and go to our enemy for the one of all things. But it says what? When they took hold of thee by the hand, so they went down to Egypt for help, thou didst break and rend all their damn shoulder. You know that trick? Somebody give me a hand, they yank your damn shoulder out like in wrestling. Well, it's not even a joke, man. The wording is very graphical. All right, so he's saying when Israel grabbed Egypt by the hand, and that Egypt broke our damn shoulder out of socket. And when they leaned upon thee, thou breakest and madest all their loins to be at a stand, man. All right, broke their back and made us to prostrate before them. God damn, they say face down, ass up. That's what it's talking about right here. Messed up, man, right? Called us to submit to him. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh the power, behold, I will bring a sword upon thee and cut off man and beast out of thee. And the land of Egypt shall be desolate and waste, and they shall know that I am Yahweh, because I have said the rivers, I have said, oh, no. And the land of Egypt shall be desolate and waste, and they shall know that I am Yahweh, because Pharaoh NECHO said, the river is mine, and I have made it. Behold, therefore I am against thee, and against thy rivers, and I will make the land of Egypt utterly waste and desolate from the tower of Syene, even unto the border of Ethiopia. All right, let's see if we can see that. All right, so basically, from all these areas, it's going to be desolate. The Lord going to cut off all of this shit. All the way to Ethiopia. From here, all these around Eritrea, you know, everything they built up, the Lord's going to cut it off. All right, so let me make sure this is yeah, close that one. Yeah, man. All right, so I already read that, the Canal of the Pharaohs. Shut that down. Y'all got anything else up there I want to show y'all? I read that with the Pharaohs. I'm going to close this out. Share this tab. Here you go. He said, from where? From Syene, this is right here, all the way down to Ethiopia. All right, from Ethiopia to Syene. All right, that's what he's talking about in scripture. Ezekiel 29 right here. All right, Ezekiel 29 to 10. Behold, therefore I am against thee and against thy rivers, and I will make the land of Egypt utterly waste and desolate from the tower of Syene even unto the border of Ethiopia, man. So they were trying to rebuild that old ancient empire, man. But the Lord said, nah, you shall build, but he's going to throw down. No foot of man shall pass through it. There's people walking around in Egypt today. And that's going to show you why. Nor foot of beast shall pass through it, neither shall it be inhabited 40 years. See that? So for 40 years, it wasn't inhabited. But it was inhabited again. That's why you see people over there today. But this place, America, that's how you know this is that spiritual Egypt spoken of in Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51 and Isaiah, where it says it's going to be desolate, and owls and satire shall dwell there. Right? And nobody going to be walking in this place, neither shall Arabian pitch tent there forever. But in this Egypt, 595 BC, it was going to be like that for 40 years. All right. So around 555 or so. You know, that's when things are going to start, you know, they're going to be back in that land. And I will make the land of Egypt desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate. Damn. So he put them below those other destroyed nations, like Assyria. And her cities among the cities that are laid waste, right, just like Judah, shall be desolate for 40 years. And I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations. So they got scattered as well. And then they got brought back into that land. That's why the scriptures say that. Are you even better than the Egyptians? I kicked them out of the land and brought them back into their land. So what makes you any better, Israel? I kicked y'all, I brought y'all into your land. So you think you special because of that? No. Right? The Most High rules, man. And he gives it to whomsoever he will. What makes us special because the Lord said we're special. It's because the Lord is going to give us salvation, the promise. All right. Yet thus saith Yahweh the power, at the end of 40 years, I will gather Egyptians from the people, whether they were scattered, see, and I will bring again the captivity of the Egyptians, those Hamites, and will cause them to return into the land of Pathros. So those Egyptians in the land of Pathros today, after 595 BC, most of them, or 555, I guess it would say, are those Hamites, the same race of Pharaoh Necho, right, in Pathros. In the land of their habitation, and they shall be there a base kingdom. So that's why Egypt is what? A base kingdom today. They still got their little Egyptian kingdom. You know, they what's that? The world of not NATO, but the world nations, wherever they meet at. Egypt is part of that, but they're a base kingdom. All right. And it shall be the basis of kingdoms. Yeah, you know, it's not more powerful than Israel, Iran, China, America. It's one of the bases of kingdoms today. But it's a kingdom. Neither shall it exalt itself any more above the nation. So that's how you know those Egyptians not ruling the earth right now. Is Esau that's ruling spiritual Egypt today. But ancient physical Egypt, it exists, but it shall never be exalted above the nations ever again. For I will diminish them, and they shall no more rule over the nations. All right. So, and it shall be no more the confidence of the house of Israel. Just like America is not going to be the confidence of our people anymore, which bringeth their iniquity to remembrance when they shall look after them, but they shall know that I am Yahweh, the power. So they're going to be, sheesh. Yeah, man. It was that's Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. And when they see the elect being taken care of, and then Jake see America being destroyed, man, they're gonna, and they hear us out there prophesying, they're gonna know that Yahweh is the power, but they still gonna be like, damn, they're gonna say within themselves, we have erred from the way of truth, and the Lord have not shined upon us. All right. So yeah, man, when you read this, Ezekiel 29, the judgment of Egypt, and then when you go to Isaiah 27 and 1, in that day, Yahweh with his sword and great strong sword. Yeah, this is today, this spirit, the Most High changeth not. And he got a sword that's furbished, and a sword to make a sword destruction that's going to fall on the Esau and the rest of these nations in America, and 2/3 of our people. But this is originally talking about the Pharaoh of Egypt, Babylon, the ruler of Babylon, and the ruler of Assyria. All right, those nations and their kings. And the Lord is going to put judgment, and he's going to deliver Israel from their grip. All right. And in the end, the Lord is going to put down all rulership on the earth That's with Daniel chapter 2, when he sends Yahweh to take them at the feet and bring down the whole damn statue. The Syrian Empire, Babylon, Persians and the Medes, the Greeks, the Roman Empire, the revived Roman Empire today, America, all right? The EU, the 10 horns. So in that day, Yahweh with his sword and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, that piercing serpent that goes into Babylon. All right. Even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and that goes into Assyria. Or you can pertain these all to Egypt, but it's talking about all three. And he shall slay that dragon that's in the sea. That's talking about Pharaoh Necho and the Pharaoh. Made them a what? A base kingdom. All right. He made them a base kingdom that's on this earth. So with that, let me go back real quick. Let's go back. All right. So with that, man, hopefully it was edifying, man. I got more I can go into on it. Of course, dealing with Esau being a serpent as well, spiritually. But they're going to receive that same destruction from the Lord. And Esau is going to be a base kingdom on the earth, but they're going to be wiped off after 1,000 years. And all these other nations, they're going to become base kingdoms under the nation of Yasha Allah on the earth. All right, so that hopefully is edifying. Just remember, Pharaoh Necho, 595 BC. That's what's talking about with Ezekiel and Isaiah. All right, Isaiah 27 and Ezekiel 29. With that, I'm saying shalom.